Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Eagles Latest on Fan Arch. I am your host, Blake McQueary, and as always, Eagles content. So we're gonna get right into it. First up, we have Dallas Goedert. Eagles' Dallas Goedert is nursing a knee sprain. He is looking more and more unlikely to be active on Sunday against the Chiefs. Goddard suffered a sprained knee against the Cowboys last week. Went kind of quiet, a little bit unnoticed. Not a lot of people saw that injury there. He was getting attacked all game long. He didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday, so that is not the greatest sign there. Goddard led the team in receptions against Dallas in week one. He had 7 receptions for 44 yards. Now, Dallas Goddard's production is going to be hard to replace if the Chiefs run a similar defensive game plan that Dallas ran. Obviously, Dallas, like I've said before, was in a too high shell. A lot of zone coverage they ran against the Eagles last week, and that just opened up the short passing game for Goddard. That is why you see that he led the team in receptions last week with 7. So that is going to be hard to replace. I'm just going to say Goddard's not going to play. It's not looking good. It's not trending that he's going to play. I'm just going to put it out there. He's not playing. That is why it is so important to get your guys involved against the Chiefs. No matter what happens, no matter what defense they're running, no matter what coverage they're in, no matter how high their safeties are, no matter if they're in man, zone coverage, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, it doesn't matter. You need to get your guys involved against the Chiefs. I wouldn't care if Darrelle Revis and Deion Sanders were out there. Get AJ Brown and Devontae Smith going. Plain and simple. Kevin Patullo, that is your job this Sunday. Plain and simple. Get your guys going in the pass game. In terms of Dallas Goedert, I'm going to talk about his fate a little bit because he's had a history of injuries. Missed a month of action in 2020 with an ankle injury. He missed another month of action in 2022 with a shoulder injury. Missed 3 weeks of action due to a hamstring injury last season, and then missed a month due to a knee injury. He's trending towards injury prone. That is trending towards injury prone, 100%. It leaves the question of should the Eagles draft a tight end next offseason, next draft. I think they should. I think it's getting to that time. You certainly have to think about it. Dallas Goedert's 30 years old. 30. And dealing with injury after injury after injury, especially once you get to that age, is not the best in football. Your body's wearing down as you get older. Football, obviously, it's the whole gist of football. It's physical. You're getting hit every single week of the whole season. So, that is something that the Eagles need to look at, I think. Obviously, their blocking in terms of their tight end room is lacking. Maybe you go and explore an option there. A tight end who is very good at blocking. You don't need necessarily a receiving tight end, especially if you want to still keep Dallas Goedert after this season, you go and draft somebody who can block well, block properly. Their tight end group is mostly made up of receiving tight ends, guys who catch the football, guys who are good in that area, not the best in blocking. So it makes you wonder a little bit. Should they go and draft a tight end? I think it's getting to that time. He's getting older in terms of football age. Usually about 35 is when, really the range of like 32, 33 to 35 is like you're an old guy now, you know, unk status. That's unk status for real. So it makes you wonder. I think that is an option that they need to look at moving forward to next season. But in terms of this year, and the upcoming game against the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, like I said, that production from last week, it's going to be hard to replace if they run a similar defensive plan that Dallas ran. I don't think they will. I think Spagnuolo will have a different game plan. I don't think they're going to be in coverage almost every single play like Dallas was, but if they are, you got to get your guys involved because Dallas Goedert, it's not looking like he will be there this Sunday against the Chiefs. Now, moving on to Saquon Barkley. He actually shared a convo that he had with Jalen Hurts earlier this week. He said he and Jalen Hurts sat down and kind of talked about and had a conversation centered around why they play the game. And I loved what Saquon had to say on what he told Jalen Hurts. He said, quote, obviously you want to get all pros and you want to get Super Bowls and you want to get to the Hall of Fame. You want to have all those statistics. You want to have all those numbers. That's the human in you. But at the end of the day, I had 2 seasons where I had 2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. One was my rookie year and one was here. And it looked really different. And I take last year over my rookie year every single time. It's all about winning. The numbers don't really matter. Now, obviously, I think what sticks out in that quote is him talking about it's all about winning. The numbers don't matter. Obviously, you can point out him kind of comparing the rookie year to last season. They kind of don't compare. I mean, if you want to be for real, last year was an historic season for Saquon, Offensive Player of the Year. Almost broke Eric Dickerson's record, 2,000 rushing yards, things like that. All Pro, Super Bowl champion. That carries a lot of weight. But I think what really obviously resonates with this quote is it's all about winning. The numbers don't really matter. That is very refreshing hearing that from a franchise guy, a guy who is a big part of why you find success as a team, as a franchise. Jalen Hurts, something that stuck out to me when I heard this quote and read it, was what Jalen Hurts said to Saquon after last week's win against Dallas. And he said, quote, just win. Plain and simple. I think that trends to what this team is focused on, especially after winning a Super Bowl last year. And that is the importance of winning football games. This is not a selfish team. This is not a team who wants all of the statistics, wants all of the headlines, the credits, the whatever you want to call it. This is not, it's not them. If it was them in recent years, it's not them anymore. They know what it means to win in the NFL now, and that is super, super important. When you have your franchise guys focusing on winning, not statistics, things like that. Something we'll get into maybe here in a little bit, but that is very, very important. It's very refreshing to hear that. And I think one thing that why it sticks out to me with this team is because the amount of guys that they have, the amount of weapons that they have, the amount of stardom, I should say, that they have on this roster, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Getting your guys involved is super tough. We seen that last week. It was a big conversation even last year between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, if you remember that. Knowing ultimately knowing that it is important to win, being all about winning. That is all that matters in this sport. And being on a team, things like that. Super, super refreshing. So that was something that stuck out to me. I think we are seeing an Eagles team that's more confident, they're more poised, they're more mature overall. And that's what you want, especially coming off of a Super Bowl win. Like, listen, Super Bowls can really get to your head. They really can. It's done it to teams in the past. It's done it to players in the past. Winning Super Bowls can get to your head, and that is something you do not want. So coming off of a Super Bowl win, having that mindset sticks out to me the most. This team's going to be fine. This team is going to be fine. They're going to be good. They are focused on winning. They do not care about the numbers, the stats, things like that. So that was something that stuck out to me. Now, moving on to Colin Cowherd. Some may like him, some may not like him. Colin Cowherd. He was spewing, honestly, some nonsense about Philadelphia trading AJ Brown on his show on Thursday. He said he wouldn't be surprised if they traded AJ after the disappointing Week 1 performance. I've talked about this performance. I've talked about AJ Brown. I've talked about the Eagles offense needing to get him involved. I've talked about the other side of things of AJ Brown is going to be just fine. This offense is going to be just fine. Things like that. Nick Sirianni. Why I say this is utter nonsense. And please, do not run with what Colin Cowherd said. Do not believe any of it. Do not buy into it. Nick Sirianni literally told the media that he's talked to the offensive guys, specifically receivers, and told them that he needs them to understand there's going to be weeks they have 10 catches and there's going to be other weeks they have 2. Them being unselfish is how they remain a team and win. Sticking to that selflessness. It kind of goes back to what I just talked about. The ultimate goal of winning, keeping that in mind. I know obviously things were rocky last week. I know obviously last season, things seemed a little rocky. That's what the media kind of portrayed within this Eagles team, this Eagles offense. But that's number one to why I think it's utter nonsense. On the other side of things, AJ Brown is fine. He's literally fine. He was literally in an interview the other day on Jordan Soldiers' podcast talking about how unfrustrated he was because Week 1, his lack of targets and his lack of production was because of the defense that Dallas was running against the Eagles. Also, it's kind of literally like quite impossible for the Eagles to trade AJ Brown. If you didn't know, Colin Cowherd. AJ Brown has a dead cap hit of $89.9 million for 2025 and $49.5 million for 2026. That is there's literally a legit 0% chance he gets traded. 0% chance. I don't know what it is with AJ Brown. I don't know why people love to speculate, rumor. They're just analyzing every single thing about AJ Brown. Like his what do you want to call it? He could be literally like shoulders down, like he's kind of sad or something, and the media would run with it and be like, AJ Brown is frustrated, AJ Brown is upset, AJ Brown wants out of Philadelphia. Like, I don't know why we do this every single time. Every single time. I don't understand why we do this. And then it turns out, like, he literally cannot be traded. He can't. Like, there's no shot he gets traded. Like, overreacting, literally overreacting because of his comments. Because he said, "Oh, I'm not in it for participation trophies," and mentioned that he didn't care about getting recognition for blocking. Yeah, wide receivers don't care about getting recognition for blocking. This is the NFL. Like, this is literally the NFL. Why would wide receivers care about getting recognition for blocking in the NFL? Like, half of them don't even care about the recognition they get for catching the football, and that's what they're paid to do. Like, we do this overreaction every year. We do this gimmick every year of AJ Brown's frustrated. He wants out. Don't be surprised if Philadelphia and AJ Brown split ways. Don't be surprised if they go and trade him. Stop. Like, stop it. Stop it. I don't understand it. So, Eagles fans, do not trip. Do not run with what Colin Cowherd said. Do not overreact to what he said. He's spewing nonsense. Utter nonsense. He literally can't be traded. Like, it's impossible. So, yeah. Moving on to another thing that somebody said in the media on Eagles Twitter as well, which was surprising to me. Mentioning that this Sunday's game against the Chiefs, the Super Bowl rematch, is an acceptable loss. I'm trying to figure out in what world this game against the Chiefs would be an acceptable loss for the Eagles. Like, it's quite literally the opposite of an acceptable loss. This might be the first time that this game actually for the Eagles is not an acceptable loss. Maybe the Super Bowl in February because it was the rematch. And what happened in 2022 Super Bowl, going out of the wire, almost beating them. Like, maybe I can see the Super Bowl being possibly the only other one. This is literally the first time I think everyone can confidently say that this is not an acceptable loss for the Eagles. Like, this Chiefs team ain't what the Chiefs used to be. This is not the same old Chiefs that we have seen. I'm not going to say that this Chiefs team is bad. They're not. They're not a bad football team. That is an overreaction. That's an overstatement. It's just probably the worst Chiefs team I think we've seen since they started winning Super Bowls with Mahomes, for sure. Now, is it like you lose this game and you panic? No. I mean, they're going into Arrowhead Stadium on a Sunday at 4:25. It's dangerous. Dangerous. They're lucky it's not a night game because that is extra dangerous. But anytime you go into Arrowhead, it's not easy. It's not easy to play in Arrowhead. It's not. It's not the best. I heard a stat though that I think like 27% or 29%. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. Go look for your own fact checking. But in that ballpark, about 27-29% of the tickets were bought from the Philadelphia community. That's huge. That is huge. There's going to be a lot of Eagles fans in Arrowhead on Sunday. Absolutely. So yeah, I thought that was a crazy statement that this is an acceptable loss. I don't even like. I genuinely I don't even know. I don't think a loss is acceptable, like, at all. When you come off a Super Bowl, there's no acceptable loss. Quite frankly, you're the defending champs. Everybody is coming out to beat you. Yes, you're getting everyone's best, so I mean, you take that into account. But an acceptable loss is crazy, crazy. So, I don't know. I don't know. Stay up to date, though, obviously, with Eagles' latest on Fan Arch. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.